Hey, what's up guys? This is College Boy Boxing. My name is Gregory.
I'm Riddle.
And today we're going to be talking about our first show and basically about pound for pound, upcoming fights, and rumors and media about boxing.
Sounds good. So let's jump into it. Let us know, tell everyone out there who you are, Greg. Sort of like your history, I guess, in boxing. We'll go from there.
Sounds cool. Actually, I love boxing since I was a kid. My dad was a big boxing fan, so was my brother, so something that I grew up watching and admiring and loving. I did boxing for a point in time here and there. A lot of fun, miss it, but do want to get back into it eventually as soon as college ends, so hopefully I can go back in the time being.
Very cool.
How about you,
Honestly, my parents had nothing to do with boxing, nothing at all. And then one day I was just flipping through the channels and I saw this fight and I was like, what the hell is this? And I just looked, I mean, at the time we didn't have HBO, my parents, they didn't even know what HBO was. And so I would just sit like on a Friday night, just flip through the channels and just try to find boxing and just watch it. And I was like probably 11 at the time. I didn't know anything about anything. And I would see the fights like on television and I'd be like, yeah, get him. I was really excited. Like, these are fighters no one knows, but they were just good fights, just good fights. And then I did that for probably about a year while begging my parents, like, oh, let me try it.
Yeah.
And they obviously were not into it. They're like, what do you need this for? You should go be a doctor, be a lawyer.
Exactly.
Don't go be a fighter.
College,
be the manager. Don't be the fighter. Be the manager.
Exactly.
And so after like a year of that, they let me do it. And I boxed for like 3-4 years, give or take, maybe a little bit longer. I wasn't too good. I had some fights, win some, lose some. I wasn't anything special. But I liked boxing a lot. And I'm still obviously I'm not in it anymore, but I still follow boxing. I listen to it, read it, write it. The whole 9 yards, So I think
it's just a passion that once you see it, you see people pushing themselves to the limit. You see that they're going through pain, going through a struggle, suffering and enduring all that. But it's for that goal, that victory, being able to have a better life, an opportunity, a dream. So it's just something that once you see that, it's a true rocket story. And how every fighter has a little rocket story.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite things about boxing, especially being in boxing when I was a little bit younger, was seeing the kids and the amateurs that I was with, or that were in tournaments that you would see or talk to, and then seeing them now, like the difference from some of the kids who completely stopped, like national champions who completely stopped, to kids going to the Olympics and being pro and almost making it. So it's fun. I'm passionate about it. I think the first time we met, it was just boxing and that was it. We just went straight for it. So I had a great time.
Exactly. We just talked about boxing out over for
like a few hours. I remember we were with these two girls and then we forgot the two girls and just kept talking boxing. It was priceless.
Even to those days, sometimes we're hanging out with some dates here and there, and we just keep talking about boxing.
It's just boxing. That's how it works. So I think, since it's our first show, maybe we should just go over something simple. Everyone always likes to talk pound for pound.
Yeah.
Who's number one? Who's number two? Just give us what your top 5 pound for pound would be. Right. And if you have a reason why, let us know.
All right, cool. We could argue why.
I'm obviously going to be right. So
okay. We'll see. Well, number one, hopefully we can both agree is Floyd Mayweather. Or
I agree.
I agree is Mayweather.
I agree with Mayweather.
Number 2, I would say is Andre Ward. Number 3, maybe some fighter, maybe going out the ring's pretty good right now. Will probably be Timothy Bradley. Why not? Because even though he's not exciting, as a lot of people would like him to see him against Ruslan Provodnikov in that fight, excitement, but he still deserves the wins that he got. Number 4, I gave it to Marquez, even though we just recently lost to Bradley. It's just the fact that he still beat the former pound-for-pound champion, which is Manny Pacquiao. And number 5, even though he hasn't been as impressive, I still give it to Pacquiao. That's number 5.
Okay.
How about you, man?
I like first and number 1 and number 2. I agree. I think we might agree for different reasons, but 1 Mayweather, 2 Ward, 3 I'm giving it to Guillermo Rigondeaux. I know he's one of my favorite fighters, but I don't think there's any way that Bradley could be ahead of Rigondeaux. Why?
Okay.
At the time when Rigondeaux beat Donaire was number 3 pound for pound on everyone's. Or
majority,
HBO, Ring, he was number 3. He was the man. Rigondeaux made him look like a nobody, to be honest.
Amateur.
Made him look like an amateur. Honestly, Nonito Donaire is an amazing fighter.
Great guy.
Amazing fighter. But Rigondeaux made him look like just a guy who only had a few fights. He demolished him, to be honest. I mean, not to be mean, but he
his
did.
accolades of amateur champions. Yeah.
I think he's so ahead. And in terms of number 1 and 2, I've been struggling for the past year. Like, I love Andre Ward. I'm like, man, I want to put him first.
Exactly.
And I think the first time we met, I put Andre Ward ahead.
And I didn't really kind of this debate because it's just like it's like a 1A, 1B, kind of could go either way.
The reason I put Mayweather ahead is because of the time he's been around.
Exactly.
Because I remember like watching over his old tapes and seeing him calling out Corrales, calling out Casamayor, calling out Acelino Freitas, and calling out Oscar, and even Gotti. I mean, he was going after people and stopping them and just destroying them. Like when he first won his title, he destroyed his opponent. He was just unbelievable. And I think that's what you give him the most credit for is the time he's been around. And the problem with Ward, unfortunately, is just his injuries.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't fight enough. And even though I think he is an amazing fighter, that's why I put him number 2. I can't put him 1 just because of the fights. The stage that Mayweather has been on in propelled boxing, I mean, it's just...
And being able to keep up with that stage, it hasn't, like, he still has that commitment to hard work and dedication. So.
Exactly, that's his motto. So that's why I put Ward 2. And the difference between Rigondeaux, Ward, and Mayweather that I put Rigondeaux 3rd, Mayweather and Ward can fight any type of fight. They choose to fight. I mean, Mayweather always chooses to fight like a really defensive style fight. But he can come forward. I mean, when he fought Canelo, he was going forward.
Or against Hatton,
Yeah, he was going forward, and against Hatton, he was doing really good. So Rigondeaux, even though I think he can fight going forward, just putting pressure, he just doesn't want to. Exactly. And so you can't really like see all of everything that he has. We're not seeing the full picture, and he just likes to stay in one style and only fight that style, which is okay with me.
It's like you stay in the pocket, counter-punching,
I like
punching. And that's the sad thing about it. Usually fighters like that, they get so criticized. It's like don't criticize this guy who's mastering his craft of just not getting hit.
And no one can touch him.
And hitting back, you know?
And what's another big difference between Ward and Mayweather is that Rigondeaux doesn't seem to be willing to move up in weight.
Exactly.
Ward came from 130, Mayweather came from 130, he's at 147, has fought at 154.
Yeah.
Rigondeaux seems like he's just going to stay at 122.
Yeah.
And just maybe go 126, maybe, but that's not what we want. We want to see him 126, 130, 135. I want to see him against all of those fighters, but if he's just going to stay in 122, he's really limited in the opponents that he has, not just from his promoter, but just the division itself.
Like, imagine him going against Adrian Broner. How crazy of a fight
that would be insane. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I mean, it's just the idea. You just know Rigondeaux is never going up in weight. I mean, he might go to 126, fine, but Mayweather, you know for sure, when he was at 130, he was definitely going up, and he was going to continue going up until he figured out, like, where is the best weight for him, which is 147. Yeah. But Rigondeaux is just, I mean, I've never seen him out of shape. He always looks perfect. So I think he's staying at 122 for his entire career, maybe 126 if we're lucky.
Yeah.
Fourth, I actually put Vladimir Klitschko because Marquez and Pacquiao aren't on my top 5.
Okay.
Not primarily because they just had losses, both of them. But Klitschko has been dominating for like 10 years already. I mean, I don't know how long. But he's just been dominating. No one can even touch him. It's not even close. And you can't knock him for the fact that none of the opponents are good enough. Yeah. I mean, eventually people are like, oh, have him fight Deontay Wilder, but
he'll still beat him.
I think he's going to beat Deontay. I would love for Deontay Wilder to win. That would be great.
Like right now, with every heavyweight, there's no heavyweight that can beat Klitschko. And
not even close.
So it's kind of a sad thing about it. I do see why Klitschko is being criticized, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? Can you blame a guy for not? He's fighting everyone who's out there.
Mandated anyone that's available that wants to come and get it. He destroys them and makes them look like nothing. Yeah. And I remember even in one fight, he knocked the guy out in like the first round with
like a jab or something.
Yeah, jab, and then he moved to the side and used the hook on him. Yeah, it was over. I couldn't even believe it. So, fifth, I'm putting Bradley because the Marquez win was really impressive. Yeah, really impressive. And even though everyone says he lost to Pacquiao, technically he won. Yeah, you know, technically he won. So he has the heart, he has the balls, he has the technique. Hard. I mean, against Provodnikov, that was.
And he finds a way to win. That's the thing. Yeah. His style. He's not gonna have a determined style in an aspect of. He's not gonna be like the boxer puncher. He's not gonna be the composed counter puncher. He just finds a way to win.
And that's why I didn't put him at 2, 3, or 4, because the other guys before him all dominate. They don't just win; they dominate. They destroy whoever they fight. Klitschko, Rigondeaux, Ward
Just
and
outclassing
Mayweather
them.
outclassed them. After 30 seconds in the fight, you know that there's a big difference in skill. So that's why Bradley I put lower than the rest.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I do see. I mean, Klitschko's a one. I still kind of
Nervous
but
about.
but at the same time, it's just you can't blame the guy. But at the same time, this is a guy who he works out maybe 365 days a week. Look at his Greek god body.
Greek god body. I agree. He never takes a day off. Him and Rigan Diao never take one day off. They're always working.
Actually, like almost all top four. The top four fighters
they're always
top
working. Unfortunately, Ward and his injuries gotta wait. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our pound for pound. If you guys know what you like for your top 5 pound for pound, just leave a comment below. You can message us directly and we'll get back to you. So let's move on. What are you excited for in terms of boxing?
I know Shumenov is going against Hopkins.
I'm excited.
That's going to be an interesting fight.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to win?
Honestly, I have absolutely no idea. Every single time Hopkins fights, especially this past year, 2 years, it's just, when is he going to get old? When is he going to get old? When is he? And he never does. He never. I mean, I remember.
He gets smarter, better.
He gets smarter. He ages like fine wine. I mean, I remember when he first fought Jermaine Taylor, and I was like, oh, if he fights Jermaine Taylor, he's going to lose because Taylor's a beast.
Yeah.
And it was so much closer than I expected.
Yeah.
And I remember in an interview, Hopkins said that he was going to stop fighting at the age of 40.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, he better stop. He better stop. And he didn't, and he's still here, just destroying people.
Yeah. Why retire when he's still the best fighter out there?
I mean, just destroying people. So Shumenov, I mean, hits hard, good technique. He was, or is he still a world champion?
I think currently champion.
Currently champion. So I mean, it's not an easy fight. It's not an easy fight at all. I mean, not like the last fight with his last opponent where Steve Smuggler was like pushing the guy's face.
The bias.
Yeah, the bias ref.
Fight.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm excited. I really don't know who's going to win. I just want to see a good fight. So if it's like the last fight, a little bit too ugly, not sure if I'll like it as much as I would if just Shumenov or if Hopkins just dominates.
Well, one thing that could be guaranteed about that fight is that if Hopkins wins, Jay Lampley might cry.
He might cry. Jay Lampley always finds the time to cry.
That's why you love him.
He's
so sensitive. He's so passionate.
Like on the Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward, legendary tales. He was just every shot of him crying. I think that's why you love him, but that's also why you hate him. You're like, come on, man. Don't be such a pussy. Come on. But I mean, I think he's awesome. I love Jim Lampley. I think it's going to be a sad day in HBO history when Jim Lampley goes away. Wow. That is going to be sad. I mean, a lot of people didn't like Larry Merchant. I love Larry. Yeah. I love Larry Merchant. That guy was so funny with his weird quotes. I love Larry Merchant. That is old style. I absolutely loved Larry Merchant. I thought he was so funny.
It's just that this new age of generations, I guess, are just too fast way of thinking. Maybe that's why I love MMA. I mean, I like MMA too, but it's just maybe...
I don't know. I mean, even Max Kellerman, like the way he talks, it's very quick. He uses a bunch of different sport references. But the problem with Larry Merchant's like sport references from 1904. Yeah. Like it's too far before.
And before that.
And before that, and even before that. But I love Larry Merchant. I think he's a great commentator. I think he's a lot of fun to watch. My mom hates him. Yeah. My mom was like, he's the worst guy on their cast. Get him out of here. He's too old. I don't think so. I would love to see Larry Merchant one or two more times. I think he's awesome.
Great commentator.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why the internet's not working here, but let me try to find.
Well, I think with Hopkins, I think Hopkins will find a way to win. I mean, how can you doubt someone as incredible as Hopkins, someone who's overcome so many fights where people say he's going to lose against this one, like he's going to lose against Trinidad, beats him, he's going to lose against Pavlak, destroyed him. I mean, it just, all these fights, he's always found a way to win. So I think his craftiness against someone like Shumenov, who has only less than 11 or 12 or either way less than 20 fights, even though he might have a great amateur pedigree, it's still the fact that in a professional background with fighters, there's that difference, like what we saw recently with Lomachenko and Orlando Salido.
Just going to bring that up. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
About that fight, I know we saw one together.
Yeah, we saw one together.
We were kind of shocked. We were kind of thinking Lomachenko was going to win.
I thought he was going to outclass Salido.
I thought he was going to knock him out within 6 rounds or something.
That's right. I think I don't know why, but I don't know if it seemed like it to you, but to me, when Lomachenko was fighting Salido, Lomachenko couldn't figure out some type of pace. Not just the rhythm, but like when he did work in spurt, he worked great. It looked beautiful. Like when he did a lot of great combos and stepped over and then combo again, it looked beautiful. But it just, for some reason, he wasn't able to just continue that, and I don't know why. And then at the end of the fight, he said that, oh yeah, I tried my hardest, but to me it didn't look like he tried his hardest. It looked like to me he was conserving his energy, waiting for the later rounds instead of pushing a little bit. Yeah. And either trying to stop Salido or at least win, because I mean he did knock him down in the 12th. Like,
yeah.
It's unbelievable.
He was coming back strong at that.
He was coming. It reminded me of Chavez and Martinez. Like, oh, it might get stopped. It might get stopped. It might get stopped. But I think Lomachenko could have won the fight, and I think Lomachenko could beat Salido
in a rematch.
Yeah, I think he could, but I think mentally something happened. Physically, I think he can definitely do it. Yeah. Mentally, something didn't go right.
I think maybe just the lights were too bright for him. It's his second pro fight, and that's the thing people have to realize. It's his second pro fight, and he's going against a world-class caliber fighter.
Salido's no joke.
Yeah, he's gone against Juan Manuel Lopez in his own home turf, beats him twice, knocks him out. He also gone against Juan Manuel Marquez, even though it wasn't like a big fight back then. It's the fact that Marquez was still top 5 of the world, and Salido still brought it. But this is a guy that has fought against everyone, and no matter who. Right?
He's a badass.
Yeah,
obviously, he's a badass. Sucks for Lomachenko. Could have made history, but he came up short. I think I don't know. I was disappointed. You remember? I was just like, oh man. I felt so bad. My night was ruined. I was like, oh no.
Well, you're half Russian, right?
Well, both my parents are from Russia, yeah, from the former Soviet Union. But I didn't really mind. It was just that he was. I remember watching him. The first time I ever saw him fight was in 2007 in the World Championships when he lost to the Russian. I forgot his last name, but. And then I saw him, and he just had such a weird, such a unique style in the amateurs, just bobbing and weaving. It was unbelievable. Yeah. And then when he came back and he fought the Russian guy, the first fight in the 08 Olympics, and I was like, why are they showing this fight? Why did this fight happen now? Why couldn't this be the finals? Because in the finals, he fought some Frenchman and just destroyed him in the first round. Yeah. Just stopped him so quickly, because all of the good fights happened
early on,
at the prelims. Yeah. It was just, by the time the semis were around, it was just Lomachenko and
cruising through the whole big.
Yeah, people you didn't even know. It was unbelievable.
What do you think about, I know there's some pretty good fights coming up, but, actually, what do you think about the last fight recently with Angulo against Canelo?
I don't know how the result could be any different, or why anyone would think that Angulo had a really large shot at winning. I think a lot of people, not fooled, but they were like, oh, he did so great against Erislandy Lara, which you got to give him a lot of credit for, because Erislandy Lara is a beast. Yeah. But I had gone to a bar to see the fight, and there were a lot of people cheering for Angulo. Yeah. A lot. So I like to think that Angulo, win, lose, or draw, comes the fight, and you're always going to get your money.
Exactly.
There were a lot of people. Most of the people were there for Canelo, but most of them had no idea what city Canelo came from. I mean, it was just
exactly. They're just media fans.
I want to see, when I go watch a fight, I want to see a good fight. To me, it's not always important who wins the fight, but I want to see a good fight. Even though I knew Canelo was going to win, my thought was, after 4 or 5 rounds, Angulo's going to put some pressure, pick it up, and really do damage, not wait till round 11 when he already got stopped in the 10th and complaining about it. I mean, I don't know. What do you think of the stoppage?
I mean, was it an early stoppage? Yeah, but at the same time, did it really matter like you were saying? No. It's like, seriously, it's a good thing that they kind of stopped it, because he was going to lose anyways. I mean, he's going against Canelo. He wasn't beating down Canelo. A lot of people like to believe that, but Canelo was still doing fine. Canelo could have clinched if he did get hurt. Canelo was cruising through the whole fight easily. So to me, it was just kind of, okay, does it suck that it was 1 punch? Yeah, it would have been kind of cool to stop it with a 3-punch combination. But just the fact that he wasn't doing anything anyways. These are fighters who are taking hits. They're family man,
And they were big punches. He wasn't just landing some softies. He was throwing hard punches.
Bombs,
Yeah, bombs. And I think that is where they've proven that is where the biggest problem comes from. Everyone remembers the Levander Johnson, Jesus Chavez, which happened back in, how many years ago is that? I think I was in 7th grade or 8th grade or something like that.
Or just recently, Asunanov. I always have.
Abdul Salamov. Yeah. They
always still the back of mind.
Yeah, of course. They always say stop a fight 1 punch early than 1 punch late.
Yeah.
So you don't want bad things to happen.
Yeah, you can't complain. Honestly, I think it's just one of those things that, you know what, he was going to lose the fight anyway, so.
And if he wanted to make his mark, he should have done it 2 rounds earlier.
Yeah. There's some pretty good fights coming up. Pacquiao Bradley, which is going to be a fun fight because there's so many questions. A lot of questions, as in is Pacquiao still hungry?
Hopefully all of them will be answered.
Yeah. Is Bradley the real deal?
Is he that good?
Exactly. Then we have Martinez against Cotto.
I'm excited. That is going to be a fight. We have so much to talk about.
Exactly.
We haven't even
the tip of the iceberg.
We haven't even started. We just did pound for pound. going through a couple different things that we've just been thinking about or just
Yeah.
flowing off the top.
Exactly.
So we have a lot more to talk about in terms of boxing.
But we still got school. You know,
We
we
still
still got
have
college.
school. Yeah, that's true. We got a college boys boxing. So we still got a lot to talk about, professional, amateur, anything else.
Everything.
If you guys have any questions, comment below, message us. We'll be here. Depending on how this video does, we'll figure it out if we'll upload,
Hopefully,
how
yeah.
many more we'll upload, or if we will. So if you can, subscribe, share with your friends. If you guys, again, want to argue with us, post a response
for it.
video, post some comments, do whatever the case may be. But we'll see you later. Signing out, I'm Riddle.
Greg,
We'll see you guys later.
take care.